Hello and welcome back to Peanut. My name's Mr. Austin and today's lesson number 3 from the Healthy Schools, Healthy Communities curriculum. Before we talk about lesson 3, I want to quickly go over the first 2 lessons to remind you what we talked about and to talk about the healthy homework that I talked about last time. So, lesson number 1 was all about washing your hands and doing it the right way. So turning on the warm water, putting soap on for 20 seconds, getting it all off, getting the germs off. You have to wash your hands the right way so that the germs don't stay on your hands. They get you sick, they get other people sick, that spread to other things that you touch. You have to wash your hands the right way. So that was what the first lesson was about. Lesson number 2 was all about my plate and the 5 food groups that are on my plate. So quickly think back in your head, what are the 5 food groups that we talked about? I'm going to tell you, but think if you can get all 5. The 5 food groups are fruits, they're vegetables, they're grains, they're protein, and they are dairy. And you need all 5 food groups. You need to eat all 5 food groups because they all do something different for our body. They all have different vitamins, they all have different minerals, they all have these different things that helps a different part of our body so we can stay healthy, we can stay as strong as we can be. For example, protein foods have protein in them, which helps our muscles that are all over our body stay strong and stay healthy. So you need to eat from all 5 food groups. So the homework from last time was trying for you to try and eat a meal that had all 5 food groups in it. So a box is going to pop up and I want you to type in it what meal you had that had all 5 food groups. I want to see what you ate. So type in that box one of the meals that you've had since last time we talked that has all 5 food groups. So has fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. Today for lesson number 3, we are talking about the PE part of peanut. So last time was all about the nut part that you can see right next to my head, which stands for nutrition. Today is about the first part, the PE part of peanut. What does PE stand for? You probably know this one. This isn't too tricky, but what does PE stand for? I'll give you a hint. It's something you do at school. PE stands for physical education. At school, you might call it gym class, but physical education is all about learning how to move your body, how to use the muscles in your body. So you learn how to do different physical activity. So physical activity is anything you do that moves your body. And we are going to talk about some of those things right now because there's a bunch of things and some stuff you've probably never even thought of. But before we do that, I want you to think in your head your favorite physical activity. So something you like to do to move around, to get your body moving. I'll give you an example. I like to run. I like to play football. I like to play soccer. I like to walk my dog. So those are some of the things that I like to do. So type in the box that's going to pop up something that you like to do, and we are going to talk about the different kinds of physical activity. So physical activity, when we talk about it, a lot of times first thing people think of is a sport. And sports are physical activities. So basketball, swimming, gymnastics, softball, baseball, football, soccer, any sport you can think of is physical activity. And most of them are very good physical activities because they move a lot of the muscles that are in your body and keep you moving, keep your heart rate up, all that good stuff. But physical activity does not just have to be a sport. It can be things that you do every single day. So for example, and I kind of said one for one of my favorite physical activities, if you have a pet, if you walk your dog, that counts as physical activity. If you chase your dog around the house, that counts as physical activity, or chase your cat around the house. If you have brothers or sisters, or you have friends that you go to the park and you play with, you go swing on the swings, you go play tag, that counts as physical activity. We all live in Michigan, so if it snows and you have to go outside and shovel, that definitely counts as physical activity. Dancing around your room counts as physical activity, or dancing to music counts as physical activity. Vacuuming, if you have to vacuum and push your vacuum around at home, that counts as physical activity. There's all kinds of things where our body is moving. Just walking to the bus stop maybe, walking around the grocery store, that counts as physical activity too. Anything where you're not sitting down in a chair, looking at your computer or looking at the TV or just sitting and doing nothing, anything where your body is moving around counts as physical activity. So let me pull that back up. Today we are going to talk about 2 what's in it for me. So we are going to talk about some of the reasons why physical activity is important. And before I tell you, just like I always say, I want you to think in your head, what are some of the reasons why it's important to do physical activity? And you should be doing physical activity every single day. So what are some of the reasons why? I'm going to give you a few examples, but think first, what are some reasons we should be moving around? So one of the first things I can think of is that it helps our muscles stay strong. It helps our muscles grow and stay healthy. So you have muscles all in your body. I said that before. You have to use the muscles in order for them to stay strong. So all these muscles all over in your legs, in your feet, in your hands, in your arms, if you're always just sitting and doing nothing, they're not going to get stronger. They're not going to stay healthy. It's going to be a lot harder to do things with them. So you have to keep them strong and healthy by using them. So it keeps your muscles strong. Now, when I say strong, some people think I mean you have to be able to lift 1,000 pounds or go outside and run 20 miles. That's not what I mean. You just have to keep them healthy so that you're able to move them around and use them. So anything that you do that uses your muscles is one of the reasons why we should be moving around every day. So what's another reason, or what's in it for me? Another one is that it moves blood through your body. So if you put your hand on your chest and you feel, what can you feel in your chest? You should be able to feel your heart. Your heart is a muscle that pumps the blood throughout your body. And in order to keep your heart strong, just like any other muscle that we have in our body, you have to use it. You have to make it go faster. So right now, if you're like me, you're probably sitting in front of your computer on your tablet, watching me on the screen. I'm sitting in front of my computer talking to you. So my heart right now is not beating very fast. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be going fast all the time. But if your heart is always beating slow, it's not going to make it any stronger, which is why it's so important to get your heart going faster. A lot of these things that I talked about, when you go run around outside, when you go play baseball, when you go dance around in your room, or if you go to dance class, or if you swim, your heart starts to beat faster. And when it beats faster, it pumps the blood faster, which goes all throughout your body, and it keeps your heart strong. It keeps the rest of your muscles strong. So you have to use your heart. You have to use the muscles in your body. It all kind of goes together. So one of the other reasons you need to do physical activity every day is to keep your heart strong, to keep the blood flowing. All right. The third reason why it's so important to do physical activity every day is one of my favorite ones. It helps you sleep. When you do physical activity, it makes you tired. And when you're tired, you sleep, and you sleep well. You're not waking up all the time or getting up at 2 in the morning or only sleeping for an hour and then waking up. It helps you sleep well. It helps you sleep all through the night. And when you wake up, you feel healthier, you feel refreshed. So another reason physical activity is so important is because it helps you sleep well. Another reason that it's so important to do physical activity, it keeps you at a healthy weight. So when you're moving around, using all these muscles, using your body, it keeps your body at a healthy weight. So it's easier to move around and do all of those things. Another reason it's so important to do physical activity is it helps you to think and to learn better. It helps your brain focus when you move around, when you get your heart rate up, when it pumps that blood that we talked about. It pumps more blood up to your head, which helps you to focus, which helps you to learn better and do all that stuff. Sometimes when you're at school and you're sitting at your desk, you might be sitting and kind of tired, kind of unfocused and looking around the room. Moving around, that's why a lot of teachers, maybe your teacher does this, that's why you do little brain breaks. That's why you have recess at school and you're supposed to move around, run around with your friends, swing on the swing, because getting your blood pumping, moving that blood around your body helps you to focus. So then when you come back into the room, when you come back and sit down in front of your computer or doing whatever you need to do, you're focused and you're ready to learn, which is one of the things that physical activity can help you do. All right, 2 more reasons that we have. The second to last one is it helps you deal with stress and it helps you feel good. So when you are tired, when you are bored, you can move around, you can exercise, and it is fun. It helps you, maybe if you're kind of sad, you're feeling down, moving around, dancing your favorite song, going to play outside with your friends. It feels good. It makes you feel good, and it should be fun. Physical activity should be something you like to do. Maybe you love to run around, but you hate playing baseball. Maybe you love to dance, but you hate swimming. That is okay. Any sort of physical activity will do, and that's why it's awesome. You get to pick what you like, right? You don't have to do one if you don't like to do it. It's important to try new things, right? And to learn different stuff. So maybe you've never danced before, maybe you've never played football before, you've never played soccer before, and that's okay. It's okay to try it, but if you don't like it, that's perfectly okay too. Because you can pick the things that you like that gets your body moving, and then you just have to do them. You just have to play them, whether it's by yourself, whether it's with your friends. Gets your body moving, which is what we want you to do. And that's why physical activity is so important. So real quick before I change the slide, I want you to think in your head, and the answer is going to be on the screen in a minute, how many minutes of physical activity you think you should be getting every day. And if you've had peanut before, you might know this answer, or you might just know this already, but how many minutes of physical activity should we be doing or should we be getting every single day? Think in your head. I'm going to change the slide right now. You should be getting 60 minutes a day, just like it says on that slide. So 60 minutes a day is how much physical activity you should be doing. Now, when it says 60 minutes, I want to make a couple things clear. I want you to know a couple things. First thing, it doesn't all have to be at the same time. That's one of the most important things. You do not have to go for a 60-minute walk. 60 minutes is the same thing as an hour, so you don't have to go for an hour-long walk. You don't have to walk your dog for an hour. You don't have to go run around outside for an hour. This is throughout the entire day. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you should be getting 60 minutes of exercise in, and it can be split up throughout the day. So before I talk about what's on the screen right there, I'm going to make that big again in a minute. I want you to think, before we talk about it, how active you are every day. So think in your head, and be honest, but think in your head from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, how active are you every day? So how many minutes do you think you get every day? So think about the different things you like to do. Think about the different activities that you do where you're moving your body around every day, and everyone is different. I probably do a lot different things than what you do. So think about the different things that you do to be physically active, and think about how many minutes you do it for. It doesn't have to be exact, but think about how long you do them for and what number are you coming up with in your head. So how many minutes a day do you think you're physically active? And we are going to make this big again so you can see. So think about that number in your head while we talk about the second part over here that says my moves, my goals, with that little chart on there. So that chart over there is all about making a plan. So sometimes making a plan to move your body around is a lot easier than just thinking, tomorrow I'm going to go walk for an hour, or I'm going to play with my dog for a half hour and then play tag with my brothers and sisters for another half hour. So sometimes making a plan is the best thing to do to help us get enough activity. So that's what I want you to do. And it's not going to be quite like what's on the screen right there. So on the screen, what we would normally do if I saw you in person is we would write down 3 different things that you like to do. So maybe it's running, maybe it's playing soccer, and maybe it's walking your dog, because those are the 3 things that I do all the time. And in each box for each day of the week, I would write the number of minutes that I would do on each day. So some days I might not walk my dog, or some days I might not play soccer, but then other days I might do it for 60 minutes a day. So what we're going to do is a box is going to pop up on your screen, and I want you to type in your physical activity goals for 2 different days for this week. So a box for each day will come up, and I want you to type in the activities that you're going to do and how long you're going to do them for. So when you see that box, whether it's a sport that you play or it's a chore that you have to do, because remember I said before, chores, stuff like shoveling snow or vacuuming your house or cleaning your room, that all counts as physical activity. So type in the boxes that pop up, 1 for each day, and it's going to be 2 different days. Type in your plan for what you're going to try and do on those 2 days to get at least 60 minutes of activity. So type that in so I can see them, and make sure that it adds up to 60 minutes. All right, now that you're done typing those in, I'm excited to read and see what you've got on there. But now, since we've been sitting and talking for a while, we are going to do our Fitbit. We are going to get up and move around. And the Fitbit for today is called check my beat. This is one of my favorite ones. I love this Fitbit. And you might have done this one before if you've had Peanut, but check my beat is all about checking the beat of one of the muscles in our body that we talked about. Think what it is. It's your heart. So for this Fitbit, for these exercises, here's what we're going to do. You are going to first feel your heart. And there's a couple spots that you can check your heartbeat. And I'm going to show you. There's 3 different spots. 2 are a little bit better than others. It's easier to feel. But here's the 3 different spots that you can check your heartbeat. So the first spot you can check is on your chest. And you want to use your right hand, put it on the left side of your chest, even though it's kind of more towards the middle. So see if you can feel it. I'm going to have to be quiet and not talk for this. And I'm talking, so I can't really feel, but it should be right there. And we've been sitting for a while, so your heart shouldn't be going too fast. So you can feel your heartbeat right here. Second spot you can check is on your wrist right here. So you can put your fingers on your wrist because there's an artery that goes right here up to your hand, so you can feel it. And then my favorite spot, the best spot I think to check your heartbeat is right on your neck. So take your hand, go right behind your chin bone. And if you push it, and don't push super hard, but if you push into your neck a little bit, and this is another one, you can't talk, so you can feel it, but if you put it right here, you can feel your heartbeat. So right now it should be going slow. Mine is going very slow because I'm not doing anything. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make this big again so you can see it. So we are going to do a bunch of different movements, and after each movement, what I want you to do is check your beat. So you're going to check either on your neck, or on your chest, or on your wrist, and I want you to feel how your heart feels, how fast your heart is beating, because like I talked about before, you need to get your heart beating faster in order to make it stronger and to keep it healthy. So we are going to do a couple different moves for a couple of seconds, and I'll tell you when to stop, and then you're going to check your beat, and we're going to see what it feels like. So let's make this go away so that you can see me. I'm going to stand up and do this one with you today. So first move, we're going to do an easy one. I just want you to walk in place. So I just want you to walk. Make sure you're not going to bump anything. I should have said that before we started. Look around, make sure nothing's around that you're going to bump into. And I want you to start to walk in place. So just walk. Move your arms and your feet. Do not go fast. We'll move a little bit faster in a little bit, but just walk your feet. We're going to do it for about 10 more seconds. Keep going. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freeze and check your beat. See what you feel. Mine is going a little bit faster. Nothing crazy, but I can definitely feel it more than when I was just sitting down. Check here. You can check your chest. So a little bit faster. All right. Next move I want you to do is I want you to march in place. So almost the same as walking, but I really want you to get your knees up and I really want you to swing your arms. So swing and march in place just like this. So get those knees up and swing those arms. And this one, your feet should be moving a little bit faster than when we were just walking. Not too fast, but march in place. Use those arms and get those knees up. We're going to do it for about 10 more seconds. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Freeze and check your beat. Mine is definitely going a little bit faster now. Now it's starting to kind of go like this. I can definitely tell that my heart is pumping faster, and that's because I'm using the muscles. So my muscles need blood to stay strong and to work. So my heart is working harder, working faster to get my muscles the blood that it needs. All right. Next one is going to get you going a little bit more. This is going to be jumping jacks. So I want you to do jumping jacks in one spot. Real quick, make sure you're not going to bump anything. And let's do some jumping jacks together for about 20 seconds. So arms and legs at the same time. Ready, set, go. Make sure you're moving your arms and your legs. Going all the way out and all the way straight. Keep going. We're about halfway. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. freeze, check your beat, catch your breath. I can definitely feel it now, more so than before. You can really feel it pumping. So if you couldn't feel it too much before, check your neck, check your chest. If you couldn't feel it through your chest before, you definitely can probably feel it now. But your heart should be going super fast. All right, last one. I want you to just take some deep breaths. So I want you to stand still, and I want you to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let's do one more. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And then for the last time, check your beat. So right now, mine's still going fast, but it's definitely slowing down, right? Because I started to slow it down by taking the deep breaths and doing all that stuff. So it should definitely be a little bit slower than what it was when we were just doing those jumping jacks. So that's just a quick example to show you how easy it is to get your heart moving, right? We did some jumping jacks, we did some marching in place and some walking in place. And even that little bit of activity for about 5 minutes got our heart up, got us breathing a little bit heavier, which is all you need to do. You can count that as about 5 minutes of physical activity during the day. So it's as simple as that. And as long as you're doing 60 minutes a day of that physical activity, that's all you need to stay as healthy and as physically active as you can. All right, let's pull these slides back up. Today, our last thing we're going to do is talk about a healthy snack. And today's healthy snack that you can see is celery. So celery are in these 3 different pictures right here. So if you've never had celery before, celery is a crunchy green vegetable, and you can see the different versions of it right there. You can eat it raw, you can eat it microwaved, you can eat it steamed, or you can bake it and eat it that way. So celery, most people like celery. It's very yummy with a healthy dip to put it in, such as ranch. You can dip it in hummus, or you can dip it in peanut butter. You might have them at school at lunchtime, and they might be cut up into little sticks, kind of like that picture on the left. You can see them cut up into little sticks. On the right picture, you can see what it looks like when it's growing, and then that picture right in the middle is what it looks like when you pull it out of the ground. So celery grows in the ground, and you have to wash it off. So it doesn't look like those little sticks, right, when it's growing. You have to wash it off, you have to cut off the ends, and then you can kind of see in that middle picture where the stick part is that you usually eat. So I want you to try them next time you have them at your school lunch, or you can try them at home. I actually have some celery. I like celery. I love celery. I like dipping it, just like I read before, in peanut butter. I also like it in hummus too. So it looks like this. You can kind of see it. I have mine cut up into sticks. You definitely need to wash it off. You should be washing all your fruits and vegetables off. But I'll kind of show you so you can hear it. Definitely crunchy. It's kind of got a sweet flavor to it. It's very watery. It has a lot of water in it too, so it helps you stay hydrated as well. So celery is a great snack, and it tastes even better, like I said, with all those different dips that you can put in it. It looks like that picture on the left. She's got some peanut butter in there. Or maybe it's some hummus. But all that stuff is great to dip it in. So you can try it next time you see it and see if you like it. And you're also going to get a letter that's coming home from your teacher. And on the bottom, there's a recipe. It's not a celery recipe, but it's a crunchy apple salad recipe. So you can try that one too. So obviously apples are a fruit. So that's another healthy snack that you can try that's super easy to make. All right, couple more things. I have one more question for you before we wrap up. And my question is, and it's going to pop up on the screen, so I want you to type it in the box. What was one of the reasons that we talked about that physical activity is so important? So I gave you a bunch of examples before about the reasons why you should be doing physical activity every day. So what was one of those reasons that we talked about? So type it in that box. I'll go over a couple of them right now. I'm not going to go over all of them, but it was things like keeping your muscles strong, getting the blood flowing by making your heart beat faster. Because it's fun, physical activity should be fun. It helps you sleep better. All that stuff are some of the reasons that we talked about that physical activity is so important. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about today is some healthy homework. So last time it was all about eating a meal with 5 food groups. Today what I want you to do is I want you to tell someone at home about your physical activity goals. So those things that you typed in the box for me before, where you're going to try and get 60 minutes a day for 2 different days. So I want you to tell somebody at home about them, and I want you to think or ask them, how can they help you be successful? So maybe if you're at home working on schoolwork, maybe you can ask if you can have a 15-minute break where you can go for a walk. Maybe you can go for a walk with a brother or a sister, mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever, but you can go for a walk. Maybe you just want 20 minutes where you can go and you can dance around in your room to some music. But think about how somebody at home can help you do this physical activity. Maybe you have somebody at home that can play a game with you, can throw the baseball around, can go outside and shoot some hoops, or you can go somewhere and play, all that different stuff. But I want you to tell somebody about it at home for your homework and see how they can help you. And that is all for this lesson. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time for lesson number 4.